Do the bell. Do the bell for the intro.
Hell.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry you're here. Uh, but we're bored and we wanna make a podcast. So we're here now and fun short story. We already recorded a conversation just to find out that long story short, it didn't work and I was talking to nothing. So this is a reshoot, but we're still gonna mixing some new content so we're not just repeating the same trash. But this is already probably a sign that we should not do this at all, but we're gonna keep pushing. Um, so you had a story.
Yes.
Care to share with the class?
Small talk. You coward.
Okay. Um, Today was a sad day. I woke up fresh and early, 8 a.m. Beautiful Saturday morning. I looked out, the sun was shining, the birds were shitting. It was a good day. It was just one of those days that you just breathe and you just think, wow, I don't want to die. And do I go out and do I experience the great outdoors? Do I go to my dad's shop and spend time with him? No. I sat on my ass all day and I played Escape from Tarkov. I didn't even leave for lunch. I just had Brahms brought to my room, express through slave labor. Um, by that I mean grandparent. But with that aside,
Yes. I did the exact opposite. I had football practice this morning. I went to a football party with a bunch of guys, and we played a game that's traditionally a drinking game called Ring of Fire. And I ended up almost losing to Lopez, who's been on the channel before. And I won by taking a dare to handstand naked on the wall.
no, I was not here. My
You
parents were.
you missed the Ring of Fire
That's fine. That's
summarization.
just we
I,
don't
I
we
told
don't
them
edit mistakes stay in the cut to prove our professionalism.
yes, professionalism.
This is
Yeah,
all everything about
I
this is
beat Lopez
professional.
by doing a handstand with my butt out on the wall. It was great,
Nice.
very professional.
Yeah, but basically my day was consisted of me playing Escape from Tarkov from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m.
My day
Nothing else.
consisted of football, and
Nice.
my sister went to cheer state, and they ended up losing, but they got pulled over by a cop on the way there. Turns out my dad helped like organize a cop to pull them over on the way there to scare them.
Dad of the year. Nice. Man, that's
Yes.
just great. Just daughter's doing cheer. What do I want to do?
Oh, Lester.
Man, I'll
Exactly,
put that one
exactly.
in the handbook to
All
use
right.
when I become a parent.
Earbuds are in. You might be able to hear me better now.
Man, when I raise my kid, he's gonna be the new Charles Manson.
What?
No, I.
I'm sorry.
uh, uh, uh.
Yeah,
No, I
care to
mean,
explain that one?
no. I mean, think about it. Who wants to just a? What
Yeah.
do I want? I
Keep.
need to tread carefully here. I put myself in a bachelor's corner. If you're gonna be a parent, you gotta raise a child to be remembered. Like, I don't just want a kid to go to school, go to college, and die. I want to put him in the history books. I want to be remembered for generations to come.
Yeah. Uh huh. And how's he going to be remembered?
Uh. So, how about that football, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Football. Football's great, man. It's fun. It's fun. It's fun. I would love to hear more about your child, but I don't think we want to delve into something like that.
I don't
So,
really want to hear about it either. Speaking of children, by the way, did you hear the story about the Russian man who made a chicken man crossbreed?
no.
He took like an egg from. this is just like hearsay I've heard, but there's like a Russian dude who took some of his own sperm and injected it to chicken egg, and I don't mean like
That's
a little egg like off of like the Brahms shelf. I mean like a actual like
embryo.
potential. Thank you. Words are hard. Like it could actually be fertilized, and then and then he like apparently like let it grow, and it cracked out of the air. It was like, and he goes, "That be it," and he just mashed it with a hammer. I don't know if this is on YouTube or what, but I'm gonna look it up after the podcast because there's like a Russian dude who apparently injected in there, and he thought, I'm guessing his logic was, "There's no way it's gonna work, and if something living is actually gonna come out of this, it just." And
That was the second coming of Christ.
and then it came, and then something came out and made noise, and he didn't even wait to see what it looked like. He just, the second the eggshell started to crack, he just smacked that thing and bam,
I
right there.
mean, what a brave soldier.
Again, I
Really.
don't know this full story. This is just hearsay I heard, but
He
it might
just
not
saved
even
us.
be true. It's probably not even true, but I hope it is.
He just saved us from the apocalypse. Single-handedly. All right, I have a story to tell, and for those of you who don't know, I do a lot of sports. For the one person listening to this podcast, I do a lot of sports, and one of the sports I do is wrestling. And in wrestling, you have to lose weight, and that can be difficult sometimes. This is off to a great start. So, for backstory before I get into the story, we were in the semifinals for football. I had just come back from a wrestling tournament. I literally got from the tournament. I had to go to this tournament because coach told me to, and it was one of the required tournaments I had to go to. So I went, and I came back because I probably wasn't going to play in the semifinals game because there was a guy starting over me, and so unless he got hurt, I wasn't going to play. Because it's semifinals, so they're going to play the starters.
Mhm.
But especially for linemen, they're not going to put in the backup center. At least not when they have a way better one for the semifinal game against probably the hardest opponent of the year. We're undefeated at this point. We went in expecting to win. I would just come back from like a 4-hour wrestling tournament. I was tired. I had wrestled like 4 times. I ended up placing like I think second or something like that. I was so tired. We get there, I fall asleep. Bus ride all the way there. Get there, get destroyed. We got mossed bad. Come home, everyone's depressed. We're all tired. We're all sad. Our undefeated season was shattered hopelessly. They put their JV against us. That was how bad we were against them. We were a good team too. Had they not been such a good team, like our varsity, of course, we scored like 3 or 4 touchdowns against their JV. It just didn't matter. Their offense was too good. Our defense literally like allowed like the average I think was like 1 touchdown a game last year. Our defense was that game they let up like 60 points. It was dumb. Like our defense was really good. It's not like we just sucked. No, they were just that good. They won state championship 2 years in a row. And had they not been there, we would have easily won. They ended up sweeping state, won easily. It was bad. Um, yeah, so that was Friday night. Saturday morning, we turn in all of our pads and stuff, turn in all of our jerseys, all that kind of stuff. Seniors are all sad, Most, I don't think any of them, besides like 1 or 2, actually went to go play football anywhere. So for most of them, that was their last game. That soul-crushing defeat was their last game, and it was awful. It was like a 2-hour ride back. Everyone was sad. That next Monday, wrestling started.
Here we go.
I was lineman. I had not expected to lose the semifinal game. I had just barely like begun to like start cutting weight. I had like started eating less. I had only dropped like a pound. I needed to lose like 20 pounds, but I thought I had like 4 weeks to do it. No, I had 3 days. I had 3 days warning between football ending, wrestling start. I had a week until I had to make weight for a tournament. I had to lose 20 pounds, by the way. I ate nothing except for a protein shake for lunch on some of the days of that week. I think 5 out of the 7 days I drank a protein shake at lunch. One time I ate like a chicken breast at dinner, like a grilled chicken breast at dinner, and that was on like that Saturday night. And then I just ate protein shakes once a day for the rest of the time. Pistachio remembers this vividly.
I remember you would just sit down at lunch and I'd be eating whatever they served in the cafeteria that day, and you would just stare at my plate and you would look so crestfallen. Just
It's not that it was I was that hungry. I was hungry because I'm a big person and I like to eat. It's just I went from like eating anything I wanted to, like not anything I wanted to necessarily, but like eating a lot of
not
food,
not
a
living
lot of
off liquids like you're some 90-year-old senile man.
yeah, to like literally having one drink a day. Couldn't even like drink that much water because water weight and all that kind of stuff. We day of to this night. It's the eve before the tournament. I'm gonna call it the eve. I take a salt bath. I'm still overweight. It was bad. I was like 2 pounds overweight. I had like almost no water weight to lose. I was desperate. So I took laxatives. I took as much laxatives as it is safe to consume.
Oh boy.
Now keep in mind, it didn't cross my mind at the time, but I had not eaten any solid food in a week.
You're a smart one, ain't you?
I am. I was desperate. Okay, I was desperate. We get there the next morning. I had to wake up at like 5 because coach always wants to be early. I had to wake up at like 5 to get to the school. And we left the school at 5:30. Actually, I probably had to get up a little bit earlier than 5 just so I
That's
could like
that's pretty
actually.
pretty far out.
I live about 25 minutes from the school. With like traffic, I live like 25 minutes from the school. Which there was no traffic today. I think I made it like 20 minutes, like
Yeah.
maybe 18 to 20 minutes with no traffic, and I was like speeding a little bit, but it was like just a little bit. It's like maybe 5 miles per hour over the speed limit. Not that bad. Well, on some days I'll go like 10, 15 miles over the speed limit if I have to get to school on time. But we get there at like 5:30. I'm like a pound and a half overweight still. I had not yet taken a crap. And I hadn't thought of, I completely forgot about the laxatives at this point. I was so desperate to lose weight. I had almost zero water weight to lose. But guess what coach did? Slapped an exercise bus or exercise bike onto that tiny bus that we rode. It was like a 6-row bus. It was the definition of the short bus. It was the short bus.
It was meant to be.
I, yeah, I know. I put on 3 shirts and a coat, and I rode the exercise bus all the way to this tournament, which was an hour away. Everyone on the bus is tired. Our best wrestler, John, who's nationally ranked, everything, he's really good. He had got up at like 4:30 to get food for the rest of the team for after weigh-ins. He had gotten up so early, and he was expecting to sleep on the bus. Everyone was. I was expecting to sleep on the bus. And guess what? I had to row on the bike, and what everyone else heard was ching ching, ching ching, ching
Just
ching,
the metal
ching ching.
clanking.
Yes. I got so many death stares from the guys. It was awful. We get to the tournament. I'm like half a pound over. I was like, I got like an hour. I'm gonna be all right, but I gotta go warm up. So warm ups wrestling are generally like the last straw in the pile for making weight. I'm running, getting ready for warm ups. I'm like running down and up up the stadium, running down and up. I'm like less than half a pound over at this point. We warm up. I'm pretty close to weight right now.
Yeah.
I weighed in like 6 times that day before actual weigh-ins, by the way, because I was so tired and I just wanted to be done running, but I had to keep going. It was like point 0.1 over for the longest time. And if you're even point 0.1 over, they won't let you wrestle. If you've ever wrestled before, you would know that. If you're point 0.1 over, you don't get to wrestle.
Wow.
Yeah. So then we warm up for a second time because coach likes to get there really early. So we warm up when we get there, and we warm up before the tournament or before weigh-ins. Like right before weigh-ins, we start warming up again. I warm up. I'm starting to feel bad, but I know I'm gonna make weight. At this point, I was like 99% sure I was gonna make weight. My stomach starts to hurt, and then the horrible realization of what I had done crossed my mind.
Here it comes.
John was wrestling with me. He realized I wasn't doing it all right. He's like, "All right, are you okay?" I stand up mid shot. I was like going in for a shot. He's getting ready to sprawl on me. I like just like roll out of the shot. He's like standing there half sprawl. He's like, "What are you doing?" Because I just like rolled out from underneath him. I like went from mid shot to like on my back. He's like, "What are you doing?" I sit up, stand up, and sprint to the bathroom as fast as I can without saying a word to John. Coach knew. Coach knew what I had done. I
He knew
told
about the
him.
laxatives.
He knew. He knew.
He knew.
And he didn't. He didn't say anything. I texted him the night before, "Hey, I'm gonna take some laxatives." He's like, he just said, "Oh, okay." He didn't warn me. I don't know why. I don't know why it didn't cross my mind, but the wrath of God came out of my butt that day. I get up. I'm underweight. Everything's fine. Finish weight. Go weigh-ins. I'm underweight by like 0.3 pounds. Stomach starts to hurt again. I go to the bathroom for a second time. Come back. Stomach hurts again. Go to the bathroom for a third time. I went to the bathroom a total of 4 times that tournament,
4 times, and you have nothing in your system.
except for the liquid.
Oh, okay, yeah, liquid.
Mixed with like the bare necessities of vitamins. You know what that turns into?
Slush. Like it'd be like
Fire.
that.
It,
I would imagine like that little like the flavor juice that you put in snow cones.
oh, no, it turns into fire. It turns into liquid napalm is what it turns into.
Liquid napalm. Man, when you're done, I got a good shit story to counter that with.
No, this is not a shit episode. This is
No,
athletic.
it will be the toilet episode, and no.
All right, all right. So,
you
so then I wrestle. I'm finally feeling better. I wrestle. I get destroyed. I get crapped on. I think I got second at that tournament. But I wrestled first place match. I got destroyed. It was bad. It was really bad. The kid I won or lost against, he ended up like going to state. He may or may not have placed. I don't even remember. He either got like fourth or didn't place. I think he either got third or he didn't place at all. I don't remember. Uh, but anyway, all that just for me to get destroyed. I mean, sure, I won a few matches, but like I got crapped on in the final match. I think it was like 15 to like 4.
wow.
It was sad. But anyway, 3 weeks later, it's now past New Year's. It's like January 3rd. I just gotten fitted for a suit because we had winter formal, and I finally worked up the courage to ask this girl out, and I asked her out, or I asked her to go dance with me, I guess. Which for some reason everyone made it a big deal, so it was stressing me out because I am a coward.
Don't worry, me
I'm
too. 1,000%.
Pistachio ended up not going because he didn't have a date, and I was kind of mad at him for that. But anyway, you didn't go because you didn't have a date, you fool, and you made me
No,
mad.
okay. You think I know the first thing about socialization, and B, I wasn't even aware of the event until you told me about it. You're like, hey, you should go to. You're like, hey, you going to the? Sorry, the
The
winter
formal,
formal.
the winter formal, yeah.
The winter what now? Seriously though, how does the school tell us about these? Because I'm
One,
never told anything. I feel like.
once again, you know about the barnyard dance coming up, right?
Well, I learned on sixth hour on Friday, so
Uh, nice. You have a week's notice. Good. I'm not going, but because I don't have a date for this one, but I think it's done. I'm not gonna go.
yeah. See the mechanical bull.
The
Piqued my
mechanical bull.
curiosity briefly, but I decided it wasn't worth my time.
It did pretty. You had to register for it. The registry. There's like 70 people in the queue right now. So
Yeah, I heard about the registry, but
yeah,
my interest was peaked for a minute, and I was like, nah, nope.
yeah.
I'm not a big
Anyway,
like public party person type. I don't love that kind of thing.
that's fair. I guess I don't know. Maybe.
I'm not opposed to going there. I'm not that guy who's like, ew, woman, gross. Like, I don't have a problem with that. I just, yeah, I'm an awkward bumblefuck, like
You
everybody
are
else.
very introverted until you like actually.
I don't like people. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like people. I'm quiet. I don't got much to say. I'm a boring individual, and my topics of conversation are not the most fascinating. Most of them are um, Tarkov stories, uh, bathroom-related incidents, and mildly racist things that friends of mine have said, and my dad's friends have said, and or acted upon.
You
But
can't you
no
can't include
woman wants to hear about a 300-pound man creatively use the N word against a white person.
you can't use house in this scenario.
I will watch me.
Don't do house like that, man. House is house, man.
I got a good house story.
No, that
It's a incredibly short one, but it's screwed
I
beyond
don't.
all
I
comprehension.
think we. No, wait. That's a whole another episode because we
No,
we talked
I gotta procure more events to make a whole
we
episode on
we
these. But
talked about this.
I'm gonna pocket this for later use.
House drunk is interesting. I've heard.
How? Oh, yeah, yeah. It took me a
Yeah,
minute. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. You
He
told me
turns
some
into
stuff.
the Hulk.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
getting so distracted. But my point is, really though, how does the school notify us about like, these events? Because
Emails.
I feel like half the time I'm just not told shit. Like I'd probably
Emails.
do more if I.
No,
Ah,
you wouldn't.
that makes sense because some okay, I do see some things in like the news emails, but like
Move on.
stuff that goes to the parents, I am not gonna get because
No,
my dad.
it goes right to you.
I don't.
Are you
I
not in the
don't.
text reminder thing with all the sophomores?
I'm in that now. I just recently joined that, so that has
Uh,
helped immensely. But
okay. Anyway.
for
Let's just.
years that's done. But yeah,
By the way,
basically,
context for everyone else. House is like a 300-pound man. He's huge. He's absolutely ginormous. He's like 6'5".
picture Donkey Kong.
Yeah, Donkey Kong. Yeah. Anyway,
Donkey
back to the
Kong
story.
roided out of his mind.
I get suit fitted for formal. Everything's going good. Everything's going good. I'm nervous, but I'm also excited. Wrestling. Wrestling.
I know where
In
this is going.
practice, fall, hurt my hand, go to wrestling tournament next day. Infamous wrestling tournament. It's called Cushing. In our state, it's a big tournament. And like several huge schools from out of state will even come to said tournament. Like I remember Allen, Texas, that huge high school from Texas. They came one year. I remember that. It was bad. It was bad. But what happened is I had actually broken my hand, but I didn't know it. I just thought my hand hurt really badly. Because up to this point, I don't think I'd hurt. I had fractured, but I'd never broken a bone. I don't think. Well, technically it was broken, but it had splintered basically diagonally through the middle of my hand. It was bad. I was out for 8 weeks after said tournament, but I was feeling so bad. I made the cardinal sin of wrestling, and I drank water before tournament. I ended up not only having a broken hand at the said tournament and having to wrestle on said broken hand because I told myself I was fine and just wrapped it up so I immobilized my hand, which the refs allowed me to wrestle with as long as I just slapped so much tape on there that my hand was immobilized. And I just convinced myself that pain is just loser feelings.
So you
And then
became a
went
man.
out there. Yes, but then I got my ass kicked. Bad. I got destroyed because I couldn't use one of my hands.
Ah.
So I went out there, and not only did I have a broken hand and proceeded to wrestle on it, I also had to cut weight again. I had to run for like 40 minutes because I decided to drink a little bit of water because my hand hurt. I'm feeling sorry for myself, like a loser. So I was like, yeah, oh man, I just need to drink a little bit of water. I couldn't put any pressure on this hand at all. If you even touched it, I would anxiously, desperately pull it away. And the match came down to me having to put all my weight on my hand or get pinned, and I chose the latter option. I tried the first option, and my hand just folded, and I was like, oh.
Uh-huh.
So much pain went through my whole body. My arm just went limp, and I just pulled it back in, and I got rolled over and pinned. And it was bad. Normally, that move would be super easy to escape. All I could do is post out with my arm, put my weight on that hand, and just basically kick stand up. It's not hard to get out of. The move he did on me is a beginner move that I've gotten out of many times. It's just the fact that I couldn't put my weight on the hand. I lost. The next match I wrestled fine. I ended up losing, but it wasn't necessarily my hand's fault. I guess it was technically, but like wasn't as prominent as the first match was. Like the first match was directly my hand's fault for me losing. The second match was like as a consequence of me not being able to shoot with that arm, I couldn't win. But found out later, hand's broken, out for 8 weeks. Suit didn't fit for formal. Was out, couldn't weight lift anything. My bench press and couldn't hold the bar for squat. All my main lifts went down like 50 pounds. It was bad.
So my question is, for the formal, did you just like not show up, or did you just like show
I
up
had to wear my
without?
dad's coat with one arm looser than the other. Leading into formal, however, is my second story of today, which is not necessarily an athletic story, but it has to do with it, so it's being tied in.
You think we're gonna stick to a topic?
Topic no matter no
This is
more.
chaos in a jar.
Yeah.
This is all this is. That's the
Oh,
whole purpose of this. We
that's a
had
good
like
title.
30 seconds of preparation. Sorry, go ahead.
No, we had technically like 30.
Well, because we talked for 30 minutes and then realized none of it recorded. Whatever. Technicalities don't matter.
Anyway, we have a friend named Payne. The date I was going with, she's twins with another sister. She's twins. She's a twin sister, and they're kind of identical. They look really similar, but they're not. They're different. They're not quite similar. Her sister's date owned a wedding. His parents owned a wedding venue, so everyone went. All my group went there. It was there. It was me, my date, her sister, and her date. One of my friends named Luis and his date because Luis's date was my date's best friend. Um, and then I got to invite someone. So I went ahead and invited one of my other friends named Payne. Payne had a girlfriend for 4 months before formal. And obviously, they were going to go together and everything like that. He gets there looking depressed. He gets to the wedding venue. It's like a ranch. Looking absolutely depressed. I go, Payne, what's wrong? He pulls out his phone and he shows me a text dated 3 hours before. Hey, I don't think it's going to work out between the two of us.
I couldn't have waited till after. Ah.
His date gets there. We're going to call her A. A gets there. A has to sit next to Payne the entire night. And you know what Payne did? They had to sit next to each other on a long dinner table. It's like one of those long dinner tables you see in movies. He
Mhm.
turns his back on her and talks directly to me and my date the entire night.
Ah.
She ended up starting
I.
crying. She cried and she left. She ended up leaving. I kind of felt bad for her, but also she brought it on
This
herself.
this is gonna sound heartless, but she had that coming from a mile away, and if you don't see that, you are as blind as Helen Keller. You you did that to him prior to this. You couldn't have just sucked it up and waited to talk to him about it after the fact. Oh, I
Yeah,
have turned myself inside out with cringe. This
I
is
know.
my worst nightmare. Ugh.
Yeah, it was bad. And then, so, yeah, that happened. It was very sad.
Damn.
All right, so I guess my final story. I guess we're coming towards the end of the actual episode, probably. My final story is the story I nicknamed Fountain, and it is where my.
I'm already scared.
So for football, we had a tradition where for like the first few practices, it ended after Fountain, by the way. First few practices, we would try to shoot each other in the mouth with those stupid Gatorade bottles. We would try to stand away from our friend and shoot the water at them, and they would catch it in their mouth.
Oh,
And
okay, I got it. All right.
slowly throughout the practices, we would get farther, or the other person, like the partner catching it, would get in weird positions, like, and the game would keep going. Like we would see how bad it could get. I ended up,
Such a good game premise. See how bad it can get.
yeah, I ended up during a water break on the ground, twisted around trying to catch water from like 6 feet away with my helmet on. I was drenched, and our head coach comes over, and we didn't notice him standing there watching this happen until I stood up, and he's looking at us like he's looking at us with just the most the disappointed look on his face.
Oh.
It was just sad. The look of pure disappointment on his face. And I stood up. He's like, "What are you guys doing?" I was like, "Coach, I was getting water." He goes, "I can see that," and then turns and walks away. All me and all the linemen just turned and looked at each other, and we all started dying laughing because
Nice.
he just sounded so disappointed in us and what we were doing. I'm trying to shoot water into each other's mouth. By the way, in the background of this, right behind me, one of our other friends, he's like 6'4". He was bent like all the way back. He was trying. He was like limbo. He was like in a limbo stance, and a guy was behind him shooting water up, and he was trying to catch it through his face mask in a limbo stance, like arched all the way backwards. So yeah, coach came over and saw me on the ground, twisted around, trying to catch through my helmet, and the other guy in a limbo stance trying to catch water from raining from above. That was what coach came over and saw. No context was ever given to him, and no context will ever be given to him. That's just what he saw.
It's just what he's. It's great.
Yeah, and the game ended after that. By the way, obviously. So yeah, that was my. I guess that was my last story. I don't really.
So
I have more stories, but I don't think they're. I think I've had my piece for today.
we don't want to play all our cards on
I
the.
don't want to play all the cards yet.
Oh, I mean, this is realistically, there's not gonna be an episode with
This
this.
is the card.
This is such a dumpster fire already. It's just.
How about you tell
uh,
your moisturizer story?
okay, eighth grade PE a couple years back. The hierarchy of our PE class was fascinating. Got some, we got some football kids. They're the apex predators. They're all good people. Don't get me wrong. It's not like people are getting like, you know, raped in the locker room. No, so we're all friends. But there's the football kids. Then there's like the soccer kids. And there's like the track kids. Then there's my chunky ass. I wasn't like morbidly obese like I used to be in the years prior. I was starting to like shave weight and actually
But
build muscle
still nothing compared to what you are now,
and
though.
function like a human being. But no, yeah, it's still nothing to what I am now. But eighth grade was the turning point. It was where I hit the realization of life sucks and I will die at the ripe old age of 30 if I keep living the way I'm living. So it was when I was starting to really wake up to that and turn around. But then so I'm basically bottom of the food chain, second to bottom. Sweet little Sean. Little black kid, half my size. Probably weighs 10 pounds. A strong gust of wind would take him, never to be seen again. It's like that movie, The Platform, for those of you who've seen it. You got, you respect the platforms above you, and you crap on what's below you, no matter where you are. I am just barely above the bottom of the barrel, so I will take whatever victories I can get. I am coming back, one day, I'm coming back into the locker room at the end to get out of my uniform, get back into, get ready to end the day, get packed up, all that. Sean has a strange habit. But he had every day he would bring this giant container of like moisturizer of some kind. And before each workout, he would just lube his legs up, buttery smooth, with like 9 pumps of moisturizer per leg. I don't know why he did it. He never explained it. But I come in one day and I hear meaty schwacking sounds echoing throughout the locker room, and I hear screaming. It's like frogs when they scream. For those of you who've heard it, if you haven't heard it, look up screaming frogs.
I will not.
So
Okay, okay.
it's
I'm
so
not.
shrill and unholy.
What screaming frog? Are you?
Frogs scream. They
They
croak, but then they will scream like a cat getting shot.
no, they don't.
Yes, they do. I've watched it happen. They'll
Yeah,
hold a
just
toad and
just
they
like
will
your
scree.
just like your chicken man. You watched that happen?
No, that's different. That's different.
Is it? I don't think it's any different than your screaming frogs.
No, it's my screaming frogs are real. They're anyway. But he's screaming bloody murder basically. Um, I round the corner nice and slow. There's 2 kids. They're the football kids, the top of the food chain. They have lubed up their hands with his moisturizer. Like, and I'm not talking like just they got a nice layer. There's like a large banana cream pie's worth of lubricant in their hands, and they are wailing on him, slapping him. He's got his shirt either he had his shirt off or they ripped his shirt off. I do not know which. And they are slapping him and lubing him up and punching him and slap. They're not like killing him, but they're just assaulting him. And he is screaming bloody murder. I I just walked out. I know that when they're done with him, I am the next one up. My time would come next. So I just took my time to leave. Oh, I miss P. I'm so surprised the guy didn't walk out of that pregnant.
Okay.
Hey, I said what I said
Yeah.
and I meant what I said.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, we could make it a little bit more small talk. Just, you got any other stories? Any other interesting stories that are somewhat relevant to this conversation? Because
Give me
I.
a sec. Okay, here's the thing. I pulled a complete smooth brain earlier. I had a really good bathroom story earlier, like, but then I got so focused on liquid napalm that I forgot my own story. So I've been racking
Uh,
my brain in the background trying to remember what it was, and I can't. Maybe I'm just that dumb.
is it okay? Speaking of bathroom story, I want to tell a story from two perspectives. This is not like an actual bathroom story. It's just a story that happened in a bathroom. It was the first time I ever came over to Pistachio's house. This was the first time Pistachio had ever seen me be a coward before. But I guess, okay, I'm gonna describe your house. His house
Would it be
is,
better if I described it?
yeah. You go ahead
Okay.
and describe your house.
So we got a. Oh, well, I can't do this with hand motions. So we've got my dad's room at the end of a hallway, and the door from the hallway to his room is situated in the left-hand side of the room. So the entirety of the room is to the right. Walk all the way to that right wall and turn right again. There's a small bathroom area with a shower and a toilet. And then turn right again, and there's a small separate room with 2 sinks. And then there's another door that leads back out into the hallway, so it makes basically a big loop to linking from the hallway to my dad's bathroom to the shower room to the sink room. And
It's a big loop. That you can
giant
you
loop.
can you can get to the bathroom through the hallway or through his room, and you can get to his dad's room through the hallway or through the bathroom.
Yes,
It like forms like a circle.
yes, that was we were sitting. Me and my dad were in our living room, or not near the hallway at all, and he had to go use the bathroom before he went out to eat. So we just sent him back to that bathroom, and my
That
dad
him
said,
being me, by the way.
Yeah, you. Yeah, thank you for clarification. And my, my dad said that he left his wallet in his room. He's like, "Hey, can you go grab that?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." I went in there. So just on the bed, no big deal. Important thing: we have an old house, so some of our doors are just autistic. The hinges are kind of busted, and they don't really the latch of the door terminology. The latch of the door handle doesn't catch like it does, so the door can just be like tapped open. You don't have to actually twist the doorknob. He's using this bathroom, this toilet in the room with the shower, and the door between the bedroom and the shower room is what I'm going to call it is very loose. You can basically breathe in my dad's room, and that door goes flying open. I open the door from the hallway to the bedroom to go get the wallet. I send the door open. The air pressure sends the other door flying open, and it slams open. And I hear, I hear, I hear Hammy say from the bathroom, "Ghost of Christmas Past, is that you?" I, I took the wallet and I ran out. I hit the floor in the living room laughing.
I okay. Let me tell it from my perspective. So, like it was described, it's a circle, right? The whole thing is a circle. However, the actual bathroom part is in itself another hallway, kind of,
Yeah,
right?
like a mini. Yeah.
It's like a mini L shaped, forming from his dad's room to the hallway. It's like an L shape. I guess it's more of like a box than a circle. It'd be more like a box than a circle because there's so many. His bathroom doors are like old Western saloon doors, and it like so. I just heard I like go through the saloon doors. I go into this back corner of the L, and then I see the doors slam open, and a huge dark abyss opens, and I was very scared.
Yeah, this is like at night. Sun's already going down. This is like no natural light from windows or anything.
Yeah, so there was just it just opened in front of me. I like turned to my left. I was in like the bottom corner of the L, so like I'm like back is like completely like I can see nothing. So like I just finished using the bathroom. As I turn, as soon as I turn around, I see the door in front of me. It's like that. It's like 10 feet away from me. So it's like horror movie esque, right? I see it fly open, and there's just a dark room right there. I see it fly open. I was like, "Ghost of Christmas." That was my first response. Was "Ghost of Christmas Past"? Is that you? And then immediately I hear laughing from the living room from his dad and the pistachio. I was so scared. That the,
It hurts.
oh, I have another story, but
I
I'll
haven't
read us.
wheezed that long in a while. Holy.
Oh, I have a good horror story for another episode, but I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that episode here. What about you, pistachio? You think that's good?
I got nothing. It's a shame I can't remember my toilet story, but we can have a
Part
afternoon
two.
trilogy. Yeah, we can make a
Part
part two.
part part. I have a really good horror story for next episode. Anyway, this one's a legitimate
Oh,
horror
I
story.
remembered it. It just hit me.
Nope,
I'm
nope, nope.
dumb.
All right, episode
So,
over. Do the outro.
so back
Oh my
we were
no.
entering. It's a short story. It's not that long. Basically, we're entering. This was when we were entering to our freshman year of high school, and we did like a orientation day to kind of get situated with a new building, see what some of the classes would be like, all that, the basic stuff. We're giving sandwiches, and we're gonna ignore the fact that they made like half the
Oh,
grade sick. We're just gonna
that was
glaze
like
over that for
that
now.
was like so long ago. I know what you're talking about though.
We're just gonna glaze over that for now, but basically, they're like little sandwich sliders. So, like each kid got like two. So I'm sitting there like, and they're like doing a presentation talking about the high school and general information. So I'm sitting there in like the rows of chairs eating a sandwich, and I'm a fast eater. I eat at the speed of sound. I inhale both the sliders because I was hungry. I look over at our buddy Brandon, and he's like just starting his second slider, and he pulls a toothpick out. I said, Brandon, do toothpicks melt those sandwiches? He goes, yeah. And I looked over at Jack, and I said, Jack, do you pull toothpicks out of your sandwich slices? He goes, yeah. I ate two toothpicks. About 2 days later, ah, I'm in the toilet, I'm shitting, and there's something sticking out of one of my logs, and I look down, and I'm not gonna stick my hand in there, but I get like the toilet brush and I prod it a little bit, and there's just a little wooden toothpick floats up to the surface. And I'm just wow!
Just
And
vibing.
both toothpicks came out in one piece. They didn't break. They didn't lodge inside of me. I didn't get stabbed. I was good. I just shat out two toothpicks the size of your middle finger, like they were nothing. It was. I consider myself very lucky that I was not the laughing stock on some TLC show. I I can imagine going on TLC. Meet the kid who who was dumb enough to eat two toothpicks and now is bleeding internally and in critical condition in the hospital. I
Oh,
consider myself very lucky.
I wish, dude.
You wished. How dare you?
Alrighty. Well, that was a good conclusion.
Yeah.
Do you think? Do you think? I have one story I could tell, or we could save it. What do you think?
Go ahead and get out of the way.
It's a longer story though. It's like 20 minutes. It's like a good 10-minute story.
Nah, we should probably go ahead and hold it in that fact. We'll leave it on a
Alrighty.
cliffhanger to bring the one viewer back for part two that we might not even
Me?
make.
Yay. Alrighty.
Yeah.
Well, that was a good episode. Conclusion. I do your outro. Link the channel. All that stuff.
Thank you for watch. Subscribe Black Gru now. Um
Bill.
give us questions in the comments. And no, Pornbox, that doesn't count you. You don't get to comment.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. I'm about as sure can be. Uh please this is chaotic. We need questions to guide us. um, save us. Help. And I'm so sorry. I'm genuinely sorry that you had to